My 24 female partner, 23 male is getting popular on Twitch and it's killing something we used to love doing together. Girl, do you know how hard it is to make it on social media nowadays? If your boyfriend is getting to that point, it's kind of a big deal. I think this should be something you're happy about, even if it's changing things. Info, we've 24 female and 23 male been exclusive for about 6 months, and we've been involved for about a year. He's really good at this one video game. I used to love watching him play. I grew up with an older brother, so I got to sit back and watch a ton of classic video games. So I just kinda enjoy the action of everything secondhand more than I do playing. I used to be exactly the same before I started playing too. I think he liked me being around when he played too. I hoped he liked you being around always, not just when he was playing. It's kinda what led us to spending more time together since games are something we both enjoy. Plus, I drop his back and scratch his head and make us little snacks or drinks. Those are the exact same things that I do with my cat. His core friends all knew me and would include me in their conversation between rounds. To be honest, the major part of our time together is spent playing games, and I like that. Dating someone who's sharing your hobbies is the best way to connect. Most of my time with my boyfriend was the same, just gaming together. So I totally get why that means so much to you. Like I said, he's actually pretty good and really funny. As a result, he gained a Twitch following. Now, when he starts streaming, he asks me to go sit on the floor or go to the other room because I'm in the shot. If I ask him anything while he's streaming, he'll mute the mic or pause the stream. If his friends still ask about me, I wouldn't know because he doesn't relay the info. I mean, I kinda understand it. If he's taking streaming seriously, he has to treat it like a job. And having someone in the background can mess with that. But the way he's handling the situation is not it. You don't just push your partner out without explaining what's going on. Just now, it kinda came to a bit of a head. I went over to his house, we had lunch, and he started streaming in the front room. I was asked to go to the other room. My feelings got hurt and I said I can hang out by myself at home, and I left. Yeah, I'm not blaming you. He probably avoiding the conversation because he doesn't want to hurt your feelings. But by not talking about it, he is doing exactly that. About 10 minutes after I left, I got the text messages saying, "I'm sorry I'm a nerd. I'm sorry I'm a loser. I stopped streaming in a bit, so please come back. I love you," etc. Honestly, you guys just need to have a proper conversation and set up boundaries. He can have his streaming schedule, and other times you can just play and do things how you used to be. Also, he can reorganize his streaming setup, where you sit next to him the whole time but you're not on camera. And that's not what I want. He's good, he's funny, he likes the attention. I don't want to take that from him. Plus, he really loves it. If I make him stop, I'm afraid he'll resent me. I'm glad you see it like that. You should never stop him doing something he loves. But at the same time, you also shouldn't feel pushed aside. You guys just need to talk and make it work for the both of you. But I also get really hurt when he asks me to leave the room or treats me like I'm some kind of weirdo who wanders in front of the camera on a film shoot. I feel like he took something that I used to love away from me. How do I address the situation without being controlling but still protecting my feelings? I think saying he took away something you used to love is a bit dramatic. It's still there. You guys just haven't figured out how to make space for it yet. Have an honest conversation and figure out a balance together. We have some relevant comments. I cannot wait to see what Reddit thinks. If there any money in this? If so, he needs to treat it like a job and let you know when he's working. It needs to be a schedule so you don't have to wait at him on his whim. Like any other job, he needs to take time off to spend with you. Even before you start to earn money, you have to approach social media like a job. Having a consistent schedule is essential for him so his audience knows when he's live. Opie's answer, thank you for replying. No money, he's been offered and declined. He just does it because he loves it. I understand the schedule, but that kinda hurts me too. Let's time together and I don't get to watch anymore, no? Relationships are about compromise, so both parties meet in the middle. I said it before, there is a way so you would be next to him when he streams too. The camera has to be set up in a way so you are not in his shot. So yeah, there are definitely options available. You guys just have to find which one works the best for you. I'm a gamer too, I just assumed he was trying to make this into an income stream. If this is just for a hobby, this is ridiculous. Proud of you for standing up for yourself. I was assuming too that he was trying to make this as a career. Maybe he's just not ready for that. Top comment. I feel like you're underreacting a little here. Being asked to stay in the other room is just horrible. Why even be at his house at all? It's good to see him apologize, but it means nil if nothing changes. Also, for its worth, I love seeing the streamer's partner as a part of the show. I can't link it, but Kriparian did stream from BlizzCon a month ago and his partner Reina was next to him. That is pretty funny because I was thinking about Kriparian as well. He is always streams with his wife next to him. That's why I said it is an option, you sitting next to him while he's streaming and you are not on the camera with him. Sometimes Kriparian just stops and answers questions his wives ask from him. It is completely normal. It was absolutely adorable and they had a great dynamic. Yeah, I don't blame OP for being hurt by this. There are definitely solutions available. The first step is talking about it though. Update. Found Snapchats to one of his followers. There were nudes.
Huh?
Guess that explains why he didn't want anyone on the stream to know he had a girl. That is so messed up. I didn't expect that at all. I'm so sorry that happened, OP. I guess there is not much to talk about now. Gonna go get my stuff tonight. Turned out to be a much sadder but simpler thing than we all thought. Thanks for all your support and advice. Hope 2017 is better. That is so messed up. I'm glad she left him. Final comments. Holy OP, that was not at all what I expected when I opened this update. Yeah, me neither. I hope you're doing okay and that you know you're a much better person than him. I'm so sorry. I promise it will only get better from here. Go be the strong woman you're meant to be and forget all about that douche. That definitely wasn't on my bingo card, but I'm glad this came out before OP would have spent more time on him. Because he definitely didn't deserve her. How did he react when you found the nudes? OP's answer, it was kind of a long protracted thing. He fought me on giving him the phone. Babe, you don't trust me? That's unhealthy. I haven't done anything. When they're reacting like this, there is always something they're trying to hide. Tale is all this time. Then once I got it, he was super nervous and said something like, Snapchat deleted everything even if there was something there. Yeah, right. Snapchat deleted it. Once I showed him the pics they'd taken outside of Snapchat, he kind of just cried quietly and I left. I don't know. Sucks. What a little You didn't lose anything on that day other than dead weight. What a wiener. You definitely made the right choice by dropping him. OP's answer, wiener, nudes, how fitting. This comment made me cry and laugh at the same time. Thank you. What were the events that led to you asked to look through his phone? OP's answer, he usually hides his phone when he texts snaps. He had on his headphones and didn't hear me come up behind him and couldn't hide the phone. I saw a selfie from what I eventually found out was her and I demanded to see the phone. Just for reference, when someone hides their phone is never a good sign. Why be so secretive when there is nothing to hide? 2017 will be better once you've given yourself time to get past the loss. Best wishes to you. 2017 was awesome. That was the year I met my boyfriend. I wish I could go back there and spend time with him playing again. OP's answer, thank you. I've never been one to put a lot of importance on New Year's, but I think this one is a good point to start focusing on me.
Hell yeah!
It is always a good point to focus on yourself and improve. I can take this week to be sad, emotional third, then be ready to get up and go outside again after the new year. Best wishes to you too. I hope after all these years, OP is a better place now. Hopefully, she found someone who treats her with love and respect. I married my high school friend, lost everything, and rebuilt a life he could never touch. I'm intrigued. Please, tell me more. Story time. I've been divorced from this man for over a decade now. Since then, I've gone to university and earned a Bachelor of Counseling. We love an independent queen on this channel. With time, education, and distance, I can finally tell this story clearly. I, 34 female, married my high school friend Kyle, 34 male. We grew up together. He was a sweet kid and was bullied for not being conventionally attractive, but that never mattered to me. We got together when we were 18. I genuinely didn't want a relationship with anyone. Instead, I wanted to focus on my career and travel the world. This would be the nightmare of society. But I relate to this mindset so much. Prior to this relationship, I was fiercely independent, savvy with money, fun, outgoing. I was not the kind of person one would expect this to happen to. I was also very young and naive, therefore easily manipulated. Don't worry, bestie, we've all been there. Kyle developed feelings for me, and when I gently told him that I wasn't interested in being more than friends, he convinced our shared friend group to stage what was essentially an intervention. I was accused of leading him on. What the hell? I'm sorry, what? How does I'm not interested turn into you being accused of leading him on? I was told that love was just friendship plus intimacy and that the only reason I wasn't interested was because I wasn't attracted to him. Attraction is kind of the point. If it's not there, of course you're not interested. Are these people stupid or what? They are definitely not your friends though. I was a people pleaser. I didn't want to be seen as shallow and I didn't want to lose my friends, so I agreed to date him. That sounds like a terrible foundation for a relationship. But as a recovered people pleaser, I understand. People were pleased. His family was ecstatic. Our friends thought it was perfect. I never developed romantic feelings, but I felt trapped by expectation and guilt. Bestie, that sounds awful. I cannot believe people just stood there and thought they did a good job pushing you into this relationship. My parents weren't as thrilled as the others. However, they wanted me to be the one to make my own life choices and supported my decisions. Honestly, I wish they weren't supported this. Did you tell them how you feel? Did you tell anyone? About a year later, I was studying full-time and working 3 casual jobs to pay my way. He dropped out of uni to work for his parents. Almost overnight, his parents' business took off and they became multi-millionaires. That's when the financial and emotional quietly started. This is exactly what I would expect from him. He somehow managed forcing you to be in a relationship with him. I'm not surprised he wasn't a loving, caring person. Kyle proposed by telling me to dress up because he was taking me somewhere expensive. Instead, he drove to the petrol station because fuel is expensive, proposed in the car, then drove straight back to his parents' house. He thought it was hilarious. What kind of monster does something like that? I don't even understand how this guy has friends. I laughed along so I wouldn't seem superficial and void of a sense of humor. Honestly, I'm just so sad reading this. I don't understand how nobody around you recognized how unhealthy he and his behavior is. I'm not gonna blame you, the victim, but I'm definitely side-eyeing your friends and family. We married at 21. I had no say in the wedding because his parents paid for most of it. I didn't choose the theme, venue, photographer, or even my own dress. Girl, you didn't even choose the groom. Whenever I attempted to add input, there would be backhanded snide comments. I went along with it to avoid being labeled an ungrateful bridezilla. Our honeymoon was staying in an apartment his parents owned near home and going to theme parks. I was promised travel later. So you wanna say to me that he's rich and the honeymoon was a staycation?
How are you not embarrassed?
We bought a house with his parents as guarantors. What actually happened was that the house was purchased in his parents and his name, not mine. And I paid half of the mortgage and bills while working full-time. Oh my god, this post gets worse and worse by every line I read. I cannot understand how they are rich and still they completely exploiting you. I don't know, this whole story is just so messed up. He set up a joint account and convinced me I was bad with money. I wasn't allowed access. My entire income was transferred into it and he would give me money as needed. Bro, this is insane. He took your whole salary and you didn't have any access to your own money. They usually labeling as financial when one party is working while the other stays home. But then, what the damn hell is this? I am so angry now. Grocery shopping became humiliating. I had a strict list. At the checkout, I had to call him, tell him the total to the cent, and he would transfer the exact amount. He checked the receipt afterwards to make sure I didn't purchase anything he hadn't listed. This is humiliating by design. There is no other description for it. The food was his. He made lunches I wasn't allowed to touch. I had nothing to eat all day until dinner. Dinner was chicken, rice and vegetables every night. I lost a dangerous amount of weight and had no energy, but I still had to wake up 5 a.m. daily to go to the gym because couples who train together stay together. Go straight to jail. Even better, to hell. I hope karma is going to come for this guy because he's straight up a Disney villain. I was allowed $20 a week for fuel. He had to come with me everywhere. If I went alone, he'd call constantly. 30 calls in 4 hours because he missed me. Eventually, I stopped going out. Any friends who visited were deliberately made uncomfortable so they wouldn't return. It's clear how systematically your independence were stripped away. I just cannot understand how could your friends and family left you there. When I was pregnant, I had a ladies only baby shower. Kyle pretended to be supportive. I had cleaned the house thoroughly. I left just before my guests had arrived. I didn't know that he'd used the bathroom right beforehand. He deliberately urinated all over the main bathroom, seat, floor, walls. Guests had arrived before I knew about this and my mother found the scene.
What? What the f?
When she confronted him, his excuse was, well, next time she'll think before telling me to put the seat down. This was a request I made frequently because he would always leave the toilet seat up. Reading this, honestly, it's hard to process. I had to stop several times because I'm just so angry. Your husband is a sick monster who doesn't deserve a family. Mom called him a disgusting pig. He didn't react to her, but later told me that she was forbidden from our home for being disrespectful. Of course he did that. But how come still no one came to rescue you? I cannot understand. When I went into labor, it happened to be the same day as FIFA World Cup kickoff. Kyle told me to hurry up during contractions, literally bouncing around anxiously, not because his first child was about to be born, but because he didn't want to miss the game. Our son was born 10 minutes after kickoff. 10 minutes later, while I was being staged up, he was watching soccer in the waiting room. Apparently, he still gives our son 12 grief about making him miss the kickoff for having the audacity to be born during the same time. Nothing surprises me about this guy anymore. If you would have told me that he killed all the Disney princesses' mother, it still wouldn't surprise me. Something is definitely very wrong with him. He is rotten to his core. When our baby was 2 weeks old, we both got gastro. Kyle checked himself into hospital. I stayed home alone, spent the whole time sitting on the toilet, vomiting into a bucket while breastfeeding the baby. When Kyle returned 2 days later, he told me it was my responsibility to care for the baby because he was back at work on sick leave, and I was on maternity leave. Kyle slept the entire time, and despite being far sicker than him at that stage, had to look after baby and clean the house.
No.
Why did he even wanted a child? I guess he just wanted to baby trap you. When our son was 4 months old, he wouldn't sleep. I took him alone to a sleep clinic. Kyle stayed home and later described it as a much needed break for him. Even though I was the only one who would be up all night with the baby in the other room so that Kyle could sleep. Kyle spent 2 to 4 hours a day at the gym, sometimes twice daily. Despite this, there were no physical changes. Interesting, right? I can't imagine how exhausting that must have been for you. Dealing with the sleepless nights, the sickness, while you are living together with someone who's constantly you. One night while I was working late, he had a woman over for dinner. He told me the next day unprompted. He said he was just being transparent because he didn't want me to get the wrong idea. That's a strange way to handle it. But I don't think anyone's surprised by anything this man does. This woman, let's call her age, was someone we both know from school. Neither of us were friends with her. She had a reputation for sleeping with unavailable men and had previously cheated with one of his best friends. It's strange to say this, but I hope they're gonna cheat. And hopefully that will be the push you need to leave this relationship. A few days later, I told him I felt uncomfortable and asked to see his phone. This is how that went. Note: Kyle was completely calm during the entire interaction. Kyle: sure, no problem. He opened the conversation, deleted the entire chat in front of me, then handed me the phone. Me: why did you do that? Kyle: what? Me: deleted your conversation with H. Kyle: what do you mean? Me: I literally just saw you. Kyle: are you okay? Me: what? Kyle: I'm really worried about you. Your mental health has been bad for months. Now you're seeing things? Are you messing with me? That's honestly disturbing. He is playing games with you. I want to reach the point when you get out of there. I genuinely thought I was losing my mind. I'm losing my mind too, and I'm only reading what you have been through. Eventually, evidence surfaced that he was cheating with multiple women, including 2 from the gym. I felt nothing. I realized I had sacrificed 6 years of my life, my dreams, and my entire identity. The only thing I never regretted was my son. I left over something small. I needed an excuse but didn't want him to know I knew about the cheating. I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of thinking that he, in a way, broke my heart. I mean, he broke your spirit. That's much worse. But I'm glad you got out. Even if it took 6 years, that doesn't matter. I wasn't heartbroken. I didn't even hate him. I was completely indifferent. I became homeless for 3 months. Nothing was in my name. I couldn't afford a lawyer and didn't qualify for legal aid because at the time this marriage wasn't considered enough. I am very frustrated to see how limited your options were. Despite what you went through, how could anyone say that it wasn't enough? I couch surfed and relied on my parents as much as I could. All our mutual friends turned on me. I was suddenly the crazy ex who broke his heart. Those people never were your friends. I moved into low-income housing, shared custody of my 2-year-old, and rebuilt from scratch. I worked, studied, saved, and turned that tiny house into a castle for me and my little prince. He remarried quickly. She was 19. He continues to live a luxurious life founded by his parents. There was no dramatic karmic downfall. But here's the truth. Just because karma didn't arrive loudly doesn't mean he won. Happiness isn't inherited, it's built. It's earned through growth, accountability, and self-reflection, things he never had to develop. As for me, I rebuilt everything, got my degree, and I found real love. We have a beautiful home and family together, and he is the best stepdad to my son. We are getting married in September and have been saving for the past 2 years so that we can pay for it ourselves and travel for our honeymoon. I am safe, grounded, and genuinely happy. I am so proud of you. You are incredibly strong. I also have a new circle of wonderful friends, have remained very close with my parents and siblings. And although I have to maintain contact with Kyle, at least until our son is 18, I have grey-rocked him so hard that he has no way of manipulating or controlling me, despite his best efforts and spending a fortune on lawyers in trying to do so. I now work as a counselor and dedicate my life to helping others, advocate for better supports, and walk beside individuals rebuilding after a I didn't leave the marriage with money or assets. I left with my son, my strength, and my future. This was incredibly powerful. You went from surviving a controlling and isolating situation to support others. You are such an inspiration. You must know that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stories. If you did, please subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments. I reply them all, and see you in the next one.